Okay, please click here.
I think its recording has started. So Jai Baba,
Jai Baba, Jai Baba.
we're going to start with the 7 realities, and Ashok ji, could you take over?
Yes, Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. The 7 realities: existence, love, sacrifice, renunciation, knowledge, control, and surrender. I give no importance to creed, dogma, caste, or the performance of religious ceremonies and rites, but to the understanding of the following. 1. The only real existence is that of the one and only God, who is the self in every finite self. 2. The only real love is the love for this infinity God, which arouses an intense longing to see, know, and become one with truth, God. 3. The only real sacrifice is that in which, in pursuance of this love, all things, body, mind, position, welfare, even life itself, are sacrificed. 4. The only real renunciation is that which abandons, even in the midst of worldly duties, all selfish thoughts and desires. 5. The only real knowledge is the knowledge that God is the inner dweller in good people and in so called bad, in saint and in so called sinner. This knowledge requires you to help all equally as circumstances demand, without expectation of reward. When compelled to take part in a dispute, to act without the slightest trace of enmity or hatred, to try to make others happy with brotherly or sisterly feeling for each one, and to harm no one in thought, word, or deed, not even those who harm you. 6. The only real control is the discipline of the senses to abstain from indulgence in low desires, which alone ensures absolute purity of character. 7. The only real surrender is that in which poise is undisturbed by any adverse circumstances, and the individual, amidst every kind of hardship, is resigned with perfect calm to the will of God. Given by Meher Baba in 1952. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Over to you, Sunil.
Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. So I think we are reading this book. Sorry, what's the title of the book?
Glimpses of the God Man.
Glimpses of God Man. Yeah, Glimpses of God Man. And I think last Karthik had stopped at 19th April 2025, on 19th April 2025 at page 328 with these paragraphs. So we are expected to start at Manonash meeting at Hyderabad. Would anybody like to read, or I can read? Okay, I can start reading and then we can rotate later. Manonash meeting at Hyderabad, 1951, part 2. Everybody's able to see this, right? Is it visible enough?
Yes, yes, yes.
So let me try and make it a little bigger. The unexpected call. By the first week of June 1951, Baba, the woman mandali, and the servant companions were at Hyderabad. A month earlier, Baba had wished to inform some of his disciples and devotees of whole life about a meeting to be held in the last week of June. A special letter of invitation from Baba was sent to Baba people. I give below a part of the letter I received. To enable you to come within the field limits of my association for a period, I desire you to be present at Hyderabad, Deccan for 3 days, 28th to 30th June 1951. In compliance with this, you should be present at Hyderabad for the occasion. If in spite of your wishing it deeply and you're trying it utmost, due to unavoidable circumstances, you are unable to come, do not worry. You are to come alone, send the acknowledgement slip duly filled in and signed whether you will attend. If you are coming, details of when and where to arrive at Hyderabad will be sent to you by Adi during the first week of June. Baba. The letter points out how Baba was perfectly practical in arranging any meeting or program, big or small, to enable his lovers to attend it with a free mind. A few were summoned by Baba for 10 days, some for 7 days, and the rest, by far the largest group, for 3 days. At the Mahabaleshwar meeting, everyone had the impression that they would never see beloved master in person again. Baba's life and activities, whether in the old or new life, were simultaneously simple and mystical. Yet, whatever he did or said was so perfect that it carried the stamp of finality. Therefore, the only hope of seeing Baba again lay in his perfect unpredictability. In one's life with Baba, the unexpected happens only when he leads you beyond all hopes. As one grows in his love, the intellect voluntarily agrees to be subservient to the divine will, the natural flow of life, and then follows the fun of following Baba through infinitely slippery guides, each one in learning and relearning the basic requirements of spiritual life, wholeheartedly love and unconditional surrender to him. But this is not an easy lesson. When I received the earlier circular about the irrevocable step, it evoked a considerable concern in me. The intellect tried to interpret, understand, and sometimes even rebel against Baba's mystical statements, but each time, in the end, the storm would subside with the heart reaffirming whatever the compassionate one does or says is for the ultimate good of all, irrespective of the outer crust. The words, in such a reflective mood, I received that unexpected call to be with Baba for 3 days, and it filled my being with joy to its brim. The rallying point for this meeting was Hyderabad. The northwest part of this extensive city is known as the Jubilee Hills. It's a very clean and quiet locality with many well-designed bungalows and villas, and some with pretty flower beds and good lawns. A palatial building, HNG 2/529, was reserved for the meeting, and also a residence for those who were expected to come for it. Formerly, this house was owned by Nawab Ali Nawaz Jung, a very influential person of the state and an architect of some renown. The spacious dining hall, a beautiful terrace, as well as a circular staircase winding round, a fountain, and other similar amenities were provided, expressed the high artistic caliber of Nawab. As for me, I had never stayed in such a royal residence, so the bungalow impressed me greatly. Of course, long stays with Baba in the palatial Guru Prasad came much later. The arrangement wallas arrived. On June 20, a few who were invited by Baba for a stay of 10 days arrived at Hyderabad. They were either the arrangement wallas or the old resident mandali members. On the first day of the meeting, as Baba walked up the staircase, he looked radiant as usual, but a new slowness in his regal gait was noticeable. It could be assumed that the physical weakness was the result of intense ritual work. He later conveyed to the visitors that he was suffering from piles and also had gnawing pain near diaphragm. He had lost his appetite, and the very sight of food was nauseating to him. However, his general health after strenuous seclusion, he gestured, was good. He then inquired of everyone present about their health and instructed all to be careful about it during the present stay. He also asked them to forget all their worries and remain cheerful. Normal physical fitness and a free mind were the essential requirements to participate in any Baba gathering. It was generally observed that prior to such meetings, Baba would not be in good health. Was he taking upon himself the sufferings of those invited and thus warding off the difficulties that the lovers would have encountered in their visit to him? I have this thought because those who attended such gatherings often wondered how, despite great odds, they had managed to attend the meeting. And by the time Baba's dear ones arrived, he would start regaining his strength and good mood. In one of the informal sittings with the first batch of visitors, Baba mentioned that before taking the step, he wished to be free from any boja, literally burden, physical, mental, before October 1951. As a sequel of this intention, Baba wished to make some basic provisions till February 16, 1952 for the mandali. Baba instructed the arrangement walas about such provisions with reference to the mandali's spirit of dedication, which was without any spiritual or material expectation from Baba. He proudly stated, compared with the importance of the day-to-day carrying out of master's orders through thick and thin, even the courage of the martyrs is trivial. On another occasion, someone brought up, though inadvertently, the subject of mass darshan. In reply to this, Baba conveyed, at first I am going to have darshan of the old Meher Baba state, or go blind. And this seems to me the only remedy for the many problems, including the mass darshan programs. He also added that darshan was worthwhile only if people were truly ready to avail themselves of the opportunity. I want to read this again. On another occasion, someone brought up, though inadvertently, the subject of mass darshan. In reply to this, Baba conveyed, at first I am going to have darshan of the old Meher Baba state or go blind. And this seems to be the only remedy for the many problems, including the mass darshan programs. He also added that darshan was worthwhile only if people were truly ready to avail themselves of the opportunity. Did anybody understand what is the hidden meaning of this? That I'm going to go blind or go blind? No?
Can you read the line again?
Yeah.
Just
I'll read one more time. On another occasion, someone brought up, though inadvertently, the subject of mass darshan. In reply to this, Baba conveyed, at first, I'm going to have darshan of the old Meher Baba state or go blind. And this seems to be the only remedy for many problems, including the mass darshan programs. He also added that darshan was worthwhile only if people were truly ready to avail themselves of the opportunity. Couldn't fully grasp this. What is the problem?
Jay Baba, I think this
blind, I think means is when I am working on the humanity without them knowing. That's what I think, because darshan is actually really seeing in a physical form, but where he also works on the humanity, but he's also going to go blind where people will not know, but he will be working on them. I think that's a simple understanding I could gather. Yeah.
Perhaps. Jai Baba.
Jay Baba, I think this means that when you give the darshan, it is only when somebody has got full full surrender and full faith in coming to Baba. Not just darshan for the sake of darshan, but darshan in the real true sense. When
the last sentence says that. Last sentence, yeah.
When they want,
there are two parts. One part is the blind part, otherwise the real darshan. When the darshan is worthwhile, that Ashokji is adding is the second line. Yeah.
That the darshan was worthwhile only if people were truly ready to avail themselves of the opportunity. the second part is very significant, I think. So, and uh, and those people who had the chance to be with Baba in his physical presence are really very fortunate that they had the opportunity to be with the avatar. And if
Yeah,
they
but we should also say that it's not that everybody who saw Baba had his darshan in a real sense. I mean, because there was a large amounts of humanity in Andhra, in Pune, in Ahmednagar, who physically saw Baba and they were really blessed. But the awakening of heart is only, in the limited few which Baba bestowed on them. So they definitely progressed on the path, but not everybody fell in love with him or
yeah
their
yeah
family is everything. So there is that one line of Madhusudana, that one bhajan, which says, Darshan Birla Pai. It's only, the real darshan is only very. Birla means in Hindi is,
Rare or
yeah, rare. Yeah. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Shobji, Sanjay. Yeah.
But one point here, what Baba is referring to as old Meher Baba state. I am going to have darshan of the old Meher Baba state or go blind. I don't
Yes.
understand that. Yes.
Sanjay ji, any can throw some light on old Meher Baba state? Is it pre-Manonash or
Yeah,
what
that's
is
what
the
what it
difference?
pre 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 new life and yeah.
Pre-new life. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mamaji, is that okay?
Okay, we need to think on these lines.
Yeah.
Possibly.
What is that? Old Meher Baba state or go blind? Yeah. I'll go forward for now. This reminds me of Kabir's couplet wherein he succinctly says, if the Meher Baba offers you anything, however insignificant it may be, it is precious like milk. If you ask for something, even anything which you think is the best, and the master gives it, it is like plain water. And if you force the master to give you something, it is as bad as extracting blood of the master. If you ever dare to receive the most precious gifts at the hands of the God man, surrender to him totally and voluntarily, and do not ask. He knows best what to give and when to give. True to Baba's words, when darshan, we find that after the period of Manonash, Baba visited the West and some part of India to give darshan. And he awakened in some the rare spark of his love, a unique gift from the God man. And as love is essentially self-communicative, its radiance will continue to enkindle the hearts of others and keep aglow Avatar's work of awakening humanity. In Baba's overwhelming presence, on June 27, the third group of about 70 Baba lovers from different states of India reached Hyderabad. Kale Mama, one of the old mandali and the father of Murli, one of the new life companions, came to Kurduwadi, my town, on June 26. We decided to travel together. In those days, trains were overcrowded, but because of Kalimama's old age and serene expression, the passengers in the overcrowded compartment treated us well, and we got sitting accommodations. We had to change trains at Wadi, but we missed our connection, and instead of arriving at Hyderabad in the morning, we didn't get in till late afternoon. Vishnu had come to the station to receive the Baba people. He also arranged for our transport. In the taxis, we were driven to the bungalow on the Jubilee Hills. It seemed a lovely place. The flowers in the garden seemed to wave at us, but our hearts were eager to greet the divine gardener, Baba. From those who arrived earlier, we learned that Baba was on the first floor, and the new arrivals would be ushered into his presence soon. This made us extremely happy. We met Pendu, the manager, and we were directed to our rooms and beds. I also contacted Adi and paid him 75 rupees towards my lodging and boarding arrangements. This prompt payment on arrival was one of the conditions mentioned in the printed letter from Baba. After a quick wash, I rushed near the room where Baba was meeting his dear ones. Within a few minutes, I was called in, and there was Baba, as beautiful and radiant as ever, his entire form beaming with love. Though in the circular it was clearly mentioned that no one should ask Baba any questions, he, of his own, lovingly gestured. If I had to ask him anything, I kept silent. He continued, "How is your health and worry?" "Nothing special, Baba. Sometimes physical weakness wearies me," I replied. With a sympathetic smile, he gestured, "Don't worry about it, about anything. Again, as long as you are here, remain happy and cheerful. Do good justice to your lunch and supper." And with a twinkle in his eyes, he gestured, "Forget about school and family members, but do not forget to be punctual at the meetings." The interview ended with my intimacy with Baba, and not just renewed, but invigorated as well. A fresh wave of love refreshed me. I felt my body and mind were geared to a new energy to face life, come what may. About 15 of us who arrived in the afternoon got together, and we were apprised of the points conveyed by Baba in the earlier part of the day. In the morning, Baba told the gathering that he had to attain the zenith of strength at a time when he was at the zenith of weakness in an impossibly short period of 4 months, October 16, 1951 to February 16, 1952. And as such, his life was at stake. To the visitors, he conveyed, "You have been called here to bear witness to the declaration that I am going to make tomorrow before God." Witnessing the God-man's declaration, what does that mean? I thought. But in Baba's overwhelming presence, such thoughts vanished like mist before the bright sun. In the evening, Baba left for his residence, and we were told that he would be visiting Ali Nawaz's bungalow by 8 a.m. the next morning. We were to get ourselves ready before that time for the meeting. After a sumptuous supper, the Baba people lovingly shared many stories of the Master's grace and compassion. Baba lovers from Hamirpur performed a bhajan program. Their simple love for Baba impressed me deeply. I was lodged in a brilliant room with many pointers lined on the wall. I thought, we are like the billiard balls rolling on the table, depending on the skillful strokes and touches of Baba. The rather long train journey had tired me, but because of the intense inner joy of meeting Baba, I did not sleep well. There were not enough bathrooms to accommodate the number of guests, but everyone, as is the custom among Indians, wished to have a bath before meeting the beloved master. In fact, a bath was compulsory only if one had a wet dream. However, by 4 a.m., most of the people woke up. They were attending to the morning chores, repeatedly slowing and melodiously the blessed name of Baba. We knew Baba's habit of arriving earlier than the scheduled time, So by 7 a.m., almost all of us had finished our breakfast. Baba arrived at 7:15 and was busy talking with some of the mandali in connection with a 3-day program. He also met some people from different groups. Meher Baba's declaration. On June 28, the momentous meeting was to be held in a special hall on the first floor. As per the instructions, before getting near the hall, we washed our hands and faces and were eagerly waiting in the adjacent rooms for a call. At 10 minutes to 8, Baba clapped and we started going into the hall. All squatted on the carpet in the Indian fashion. Baba, with flowing hair, wearing a white sadra, was sitting in a wooden chair. He inquired of Pendu, Adi, and other group heads if all had come in. Then his fingers started moving on the alphabet board. Addressing the gathering, he said, "One thing I can definitely say with all the emphasis is that for me, for you all, and for those connected with me, by February 16, 1952, things won't be as they are now, whether for good or bad, and I feel confident it will be for the best." He continued, "To be honest, in the new life, I never felt so happy as I feel now. And this happiness makes me feel that God wants me to make the declaration." Baba casually referred to the 100 days seclusion and told the gathering how enormously helpless and incredibly nervous he felt in that period. He added, "Last night I hardly slept. All of a sudden at 3:30 in the morning, it was clearly revealed that God wants me to take the irrevocable step. Since then, I am happy and do not feel nervous at all. I feel deep down in my heart that Baba will definitely help me to regain the old life Meher Baba state by February 16, 1952. Asking us to be very attentive, he gestured, "Be there wholly when you listen to the declaration." He got up and washed his face and hands in a basin that was placed in a corner. As he occupied his seat, he looked very solemn, but of course not without the divine glow about him. Before the delivery of declaration, Dr. Ghani read out its corollary, what Baba had determined to the audience. The important parts were given below. The period required for this inevitable step will be from October 16, 1951 to February 16, 1952. The step God wants me to take is one of the complete and absolute annihilation. That means that during this period of mental annihilation, I will, in the natural course of events, be facing physical annihilation as well, without my actually seeking it. Irrespective of what I am, and will be, God in His infinite justice will see to everything. My strongest and only advice to each one of you is to hold fast to your faith and love, at least in the same proportion as now, if not in greater. I will plunge deeply into the act of annihilation from October 16. I ask God in all humility to help me achieve the desired end by February 12. In the event of my physical death, the arrangement wallahs have to carry out the instructions I have given them. I will be away from Hyderabad from October 16 to February 12, 1952. Anyone who wants to go through his dying process with me can join me, and I will have absolutely no responsibility and might have no concern whether for anyone accompanying me. I order the servants who are with me to choose between two things: to join me in this hopeless task or stay at Hyderabad doing whatever duty I allot to them. From July 1 to February 12, I might be available either to all, to a few, or to none. Even if there is one of you accompanying me, I shall be quite pleased and satisfied, and even if many choose to come with me, I will not mind. Also, from amongst those offering to come with me, I will finally decide who is to accompany me and who is to stay. During this period of annihilation, my actions and mode of living will be free from any binding conditions. I might beg for anything, demand anything, accept anything, or reject anything, or perhaps I might do none of these things. I will do anything ordinary or extraordinary, good or bad, as the occasion may demand of me, based on the will of God, for this great annihilation. Dr. Ghani also read aloud Urdu and Hindi translation of the corollary and Deshmukh its Marathi version. After this reading, Baba got up from the chair and gestured for all to stand up. He folded his hands in a devotional manner. Most of the visitors did the same. Baba also closed his eyes. Dr. Donkin, on behalf of Baba, very solemnly read out the following declaration.
Jai Baba, Sunil,
Jai
before
Baba.
the declaration, there is a cross reference 1 on
Okay.
top.
Sorry, did I miss?
Yeah. The last line, will of God of Ning, once again.
Okay, perhaps I missed.
Yeah. The one above this, just the last one.
Oh, yeah. Yes. It's circular NL26. Yeah.
Yeah, new life.
New life circular 26. Yeah.
Now you read the declaration, yes.
Anybody's aware of this annihilation, significance of this annihilation declaration, or we are reading together? So, anybody else wants to read, or I can continue?
I'll continue.
All right.
For some time, and then we can rotate again with somebody else.
Yeah, sure.
Avatar, Meher Baba ki Jai. In the presence of God and bearing in my heart all the perfect ones of all times as witness, I declare that by the help and will of God, I will definitely take this step of annihilation on October 16th of this year. God helped me to do the seclusion work of the 100 days to my entire satisfaction, and I feel absolutely confident that God will help me to attain the old life Meher Baba state by 16th February 1952 and to manifest universally. To those present, Baba gave the following order. I want every one of you who is present here as witness to this declaration to fast for 24 hours on tea and water on the 16th of October, beginning from 8 o'clock in the morning of that day. This profound and sublime declaration was received in great silence and admiration by the Baba people. Baba, as he took his seat, declaring a break of 15 minutes. Whenever any serious message or discourse was given, Baba would generally order a short recess. The discourse on Manonash. When we assembled again, Baba looked very cheerful and relaxed. He told the gathering that from the middle of October, he would not be in Hyderabad for 4 months. To give all an idea of the magnitude and seriousness of his work that he had to accomplish during those months, he spelled on the board it would be facing 400 deaths in 4 months. He asked the servant companions and all the visitors to seriously and honestly consider if they really felt like going with him during that period. Baba reminded all that he would bear responsibility towards none. No one who wished to join should expect any material or spiritual benefit from Baba. On the contrary, he would have to face sleeplessness, sickness, and starvation. One of the old persons asked if there was any age limit in accompanying Baba. With a smile, Baba gestured, "No age limit, but for heaven's sake, do not say yes, assuming that I may order you to stay behind." Looking at the gathering, he added, "Don't fool me and fool yourself. After knowing your decisions, I shall decide for each one wishing to join me." Then Baba commenced dictating from the alphabet board a discourse in English on Manas, annihilation of the mind. It was simultaneously translated in Hindi. A few, including myself, tried to know this. Anything, sir? Any comment or somebody wants to say something?
Sorry, there was an interruption here. Keep
Oh,
going,
sorry.
please.
Sorry. I'll read it.
Yeah.
Then Baba commenced dictating from the alphabet board a discourse in English on Manonas, annihilation of the mind. It was simultaneously translated into Hindi. A few, including myself, tried to note down Baba's words to the extent that we could. I must state that I am neither a steno nor a typist, but from whatever I scribbled in longhand and with the gaps filled in from my memory, I am trying to reproduce the matter in this chapter. I have, however, tried to maintain the sequence in which the discourse was given. Later on, the notes on this discourse were edited, compiled, and published in a book, Meher Baba and the God Determined Step by Ramju Abdullah. To me, this discourse is a superb commentary in simple words on the sermon given by Baba at Mahabaleshwar. Baba opened the subject, mind. Mind changes according to sanskaras, impressions, but it is not basically transformed. Mind is of the false and it remains false. Being false, it can be annihilated. Today you think I am a man. If your body falls and you get a body of a woman, you think I am a woman. This I of being a man or a woman is a false and it continues to think so. Still there is real transformation. Mind is never transformed. Ego is transformed only once. Ego is of the real and it shall ever remain real. By ego, I mean your very being as Astitva. Ego by itself is not false. Mind makes one think so. Mind creates worlds, illusions, and illusions, yet it is never one in itself. Ego, as witness consciousness, is always one in itself. The real ego that each of us has is apparently bound up by the mind and makes the real ego think of itself as false. Mind makes you think birth and death, happiness and misery are real, and nothing can be more false than this. You are never born, but mind gives the impression I am this, I am that. This is my wife, this is my child, etc. Mind always keeps you in a tap dance. If you know that you and your wife and your children are all are one, and that you never die, never suffer, what else would there be to know?
Very, very
So,
interesting, very profound, all these
yeah, I
things.
think I'll take a pause because it's, as Sunil rightly said, it's very profound and there's lots to process in this. And there's also
Mm.
the play of the mind and the ego. And as in said in earlier, that ego is ego means edge God out. The ego tries to, you know, create illusions and illusions.
False. Yeah, I wanted to ask something. Maintain and go. Create delusions.
That's the line you said. Ego as witness consciousness is always one in itself.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can't find that line now. What was
No,
it in the previous page? Just a minute. Yeah.
yeah, just
I think
anybody has not
I
any.
think we can read this ego part once again, because
Yeah.
for the first time, as far as I am concerned, we are getting a positive idea about ego. So
Ego.
what
Yeah.
we thought all these days is ego is always bad. We should
Hmm.
not have ego. So this idea is what Baba is telling here is ego remains real. Ego is of the real and it shall ever remain real.
This is
By
the line I
ego,
wanted to
I
ask.
mean your very being as astitva. This
Astitva.
definition uh,
Hmm.
should be thought of.
Sunilji, shall we read this part again from mind?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
If everyone agrees, and perhaps you may find your questions. And at the end of this, I'll stop if anybody has any comments, questions, or anything to ask.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Baba opened the subject, mind. Mind changes according to the sanskaras, impressions, but is not basically transformed. Mind is of the false and it remains false. Being false, it can be annihilated. I think that is very profound. Being false, it can be annihilated.
Mind is of the false and it remains false. Okay.
Being false, it can be annihilated. Today you think I'm a man. If your body falls and you get a body of a woman, you'll think I'm a woman. This I of being a man or a woman is false, and it continues to think so till there is real transformation. Mind is never transformed. Ego is transformed only once. Ego is of the real and it shall ever remain real. By ego, I mean your very being as Asitva. Ego by itself is not false. Mind makes one think so. Mind creates worlds, delusions, yet it is never one in itself. Ego as witness consciousness is always one in itself. The real ego that each of us has is
Currently bound up.
permanently bound by the mind and makes the real ego think of itself as false. Mind makes you think birth and death, happiness and misery are real, and nothing can be more false than this. You are never born, but mind gives the impression this, I am that. This is my wife, this is my child. Mind always keeps you in a tap dance. If you know that you and your wife and your children all are one, and that you never die, never suffer, what else would there be to know? I'm just reminded of the supplement 19 in God Speaks, which deals with real birth and real death, which actually means that we are born once and we die once, and the reincarnation is basically just changing the body. That is not the reincarnation and the life and the death and births are all a part of a cycle. But you are only born once and you die once when you merge with God. That's I would suggest everybody to read that offline. But it's very profound. Supplement 19 in God Speaks.
God speaks. Yeah.
I think it's on page 278 or 238. I don't remember the exact page. But anyway, so the mind, which is made up of false impressions, makes the real I think itself false. Mind may make you say, I am God, but may not make you feel, I am God. So as long as mind is there, ego cannot be transformed from its false assumption attitude of its real state. You are really infinite and eternal, but you do not feel it. To experience this original state, mind must go. But who is to destroy the mind? The very act of destroying creates impressions and mind gets bound. The magic jadoo of sanskaras has bound you so tight and skillfully that the more you try to come out of it, the more you get bound. The only recourse is that mind has to annihilate by itself. It reminds me of quicksand. The more you try to come out of it, the more you get caught up in that. That's just my thinking. So Hafiz says, to khud hija, to khud hijabe khudi, Hafiz uz Mia Barkis. Hafiz, remove thyself, for thou art the veil.
But how to remove yourself? Yeah.
How to remove yourself? The very process of removing
Creates impressions.
creates impressions. Yes, thank you, thank you. So the perfect masters laid down different paths that subsequently direct towards destroying mind, retaining consciousness. These paths are based mainly on action, meditation, and love. I think maybe we can underline these paths are based mainly on action, meditation, and love. Yeah, this is worth highlighting or worth is the masters knew that actions which have false ego and mind, full of impressions as its background, instead of destroying the mind, fear it, and there is no escape from action. So some masters demonstrate the path of actionless action. The secret lies in performing action in a way as if it had not been done at all. Then what happens? Past impressions of actions then get spent up, and as you have no self-interest, no new impressions are formed. This is really profound on how to, you know, not create more impressions. So the whole paragraph is pretty significant. It was lunchtime, and Baba told the gathering that it was no good in getting on with the discourse, though on Manonash, on empty stomachs. We were with Baba for about 4 hours, but we became time conscious only after hearing Baba's remark. In the dining hall, the tables were already spread. After a delicious lunch and a little rest, we were back in the meeting hall by 2 p.m.
I think you can also underline this phrase actionless action.
Which one, Mamaji?
Just after you were marking in color, the secret lies in performing action in a way as if it had not been done at all. Just above that, actionless action.
Actionless action.
So some masters demonstrated the path of actionless action.
Yeah.
Decisions about accompanying Baba. Baba first asked the servant companions about their decisions. He made it clear that if anyone or all of them wished to stay behind, he would provide for each good boarding arrangements plus some pocket money. Baba himself asked Vishnu to attend to lodging and food arrangements of the women staying at Hyderabad. Neelu was sick and so he did not attend this session. Mulli decided to stay behind. Tonking very devotedly said, Baba, my heart will go with you, but my body shall remain at Hyderabad. The remaining 6 servants, Pendu, Gustaji, Paidul, Eraj, Kaka, and Kaikobar, decided to be with Baba. Then turning to visitors, Baba asked those who stand up who were willing to go with him for 4 months, accepting the conditions laid down by him. Out of 75 Baba lovers, 15 showed their readiness to accompany Baba through thick and thin. They were Minu Kharas, Nana Kher, Pankhraj, Goma Ganesh, Siral Mama, Todi Singh, Kishan Singh, Daulat Singh, Pritam Singh, Kadekar, Babadas, Shripad Sahai, Kane, P.D. Nigam, Pukar, and ACS Chari. The arrangement walas were not to consider anything about this subject as they were given certain duties from the beginning of the new life. Baba concluded, today you have decided for yourself. Tomorrow I will decide for each of you. As for me, whatever I have already declared is final. Baba continued, in fact, this new life phase is only for me. I began it on October 16, 1949. Till now, although I am leading the new life, I have not been able to live it as I wanted to. In the coming period of 4 months, I want to live the whole of the. Can you raise the screen? Yeah. Whole of the new life and end it for me. Baba looked very happy for the main subject of the meeting was over. He, however, did not wish to continue the discourse on Mananash. He desired to complete it in the next day. He further suggested, now let us not be serious. Tell me some good jokes or humorous stories. Make me laugh and laugh yourself. If I remember correctly, I mainly tried to entertain Baba with a joke I had recently read about the sane sailors. When a large steamer was in mid-ocean, these wise sailors were ordered to throw a passenger from cabin number 36 who had recently expired overboard. In all readiness, they went there. Surprisingly enough, the man in the cabin said, but I am alive. Perhaps you got the wrong number. Who are you? Asked the sailors. I am a press reporter. The man nervously replied, we don't believe reporters. They give false news, said the sailors. Jointly and holding him tightly, they threw him overboard. I do not recollect how far I was successful in telling you this joke, but my diffidence in speech and poor presentation must have amused my friends. I hope, of course, there were some funny stories and jokes in Hindi, Gujarati, and English that made Baba and the whole group laugh heartily. As opposed to the solemn morning session and afternoon atmosphere in the hall was one of jovialty and lightheartedness, vibrant with Baba's loving presence. I just want to add that along with serious discourse, Baba also had a light side where he would make the atmosphere lighter by some jokes or some anecdotes.
Absolutely. This makes it so interesting, right?
Yes.
Being with them. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you want to switch reading? Are you okay, Ashokji, or you want to pass to somebody else?
Somebody wants to read. I want to give. I mean, everybody should have a chance. So, anybody wants to read? Ashish, Sanjay.
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah. So, thank you, Sunilji.
Thank you. Thanks, Jai Baba.
Over to you, Jai Baba. Over to you, Ashish.
Yeah, Jai Baba.
Jai
Born
Baba.
once, die once. The next day, June 29, all assembled in the same hall by 8 a.m. Baba had already arrived. He told us that he had not slept well the previous night and so could not make any decision about those to accompany him during the Manonaj phase. He added, as I want to be absolutely free from any kind of interference, the selection is difficult. I find servants Pendu, Erach, Ustadji, and Baidul. Okay, but God knows I have not yet finally decided about them. I had a very restless night and hence I could not take any decision. Now, till I decide, I cannot sleep. If I feel that even to have one in square bracket person with me in a hindrance, I shall go alone. But again, that does not seem possible. After such casual talk,
I think it should
Baba
be as a hindrance. It should have been as a hindrance, actually.
As a hindrance. Is a
Yeah.
hindrance.
Is
is
a
a
hindrance. Okay, is a hindrance also. Okay,
hindrance.
sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. With me is a hindrance. I shall go alone, But again, that does not seem possible. After such casual talk, Baba wished to continue the discourse. He gestured, "This is the last thing I wish to explain in my new life." But before Baba began the discourse, Ghani directed his attention to the question of one birth and one death, as believed by Mohammedans and Christians. To enlighten all on this subject, Baba replied, the real goal of life is not the death of the ego, but the death of the mind. When Muhammad or Jesus or Zoroaster talk of being born once and dying once, it was of the mind, in square bracket, and not of the body. When mind dies totally, the false ego becomes real I. That is, false ego is completely effaced and real I manifest. In reality, ego is not born, as such, it does not die. Ego, in square bracket, as witness consciousness, is always real. It is only due to mind that ego acts and feels limited and false. Mind takes the body according to its good and bad impressions. Taking up, taking up, and giving up of bodies is not the mind or the ego taking birth or dying. Every time when body is discarded, mind survives. Impressions remain. These impressions press on mind to spend them by taking another body. So mind takes another body according to the impressions ego witness, and another body and another. When you are in sound sleep, ego, mind, and sanskaras are there. Sanskaras wake up mind. They say, go on, spend us. Waking up from the sound sleep is in a way an everyday birth for the body. When one body is left, another body comes in a through there in a time lag
between the giving up of one
between the
body.
giving up of one body and taking up another.
Can we take
Mind
a pause? Sorry,
yeah.
Ashish. Yeah. I wanted a little bit of commentary on this, if somebody can help.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sunil, Jai Baba, you see,
Jai
if
Baba.
you go to the heading, it says born once, die once, something like that,
Yes.
right? So it actually means, yeah, born once, die once. So uh, it's very apt and it's very relevant to this, what I was mentioning on page 238, supplement 19, real birth and real death. And if I can read just the first line, there is one real birth and one real death. You are born once and you really die once. So what it means is that reincarnation is not uh, birth and death. It's just a process of changing the body. But you're really born once, and real death is when you merge with God. And the same thing is being said in a different manner, or in a little lighter manner. But the the real essence of our life is to have real birth, which we already have when we are born, and the real death is when you merge with God. So I would suggest everybody to read. It's just one page, 238 of God Speaks. We can read it separately, but it's very relevant to what has been said here. Anybody else can add, but
So basically, it's the mind which carries all the impressions and forces you to take the new birth. And the subject that we are talking is here in several of these pages that we read today is the Manonash. Manonash means not nash of the mind, but the impressions on the mind. So we need to see what is causing impressions on our mind. That our love for food, our love for something, or our hate for something, all these impressions, that we attach ourselves to the false than the real. So the aim is to kill those attachments and free our mind as much as we can. So Manonaj will force the impressions to reduce over and over and over again after several births. And when
So
you are
then,
free of impressions, the mind dies. And that is the real death when the mind dies. That's what is. I mean, it's a
simple.
very long
So
and tedious
simple
journey.
question is.
Yeah.
So my simple question is then how to control the mind? Yeah, this is the
How to
mind, right?
control the
I
mind is
get
to
it.
remember Baba, to love him and feel his presence all over mind. So we in his presence we do not do anything that he would not ask us to do. We don't shout at people. Shout at people is okay as far as Baba is saying, but help others, have humility. What Baba has said, feel that everybody has Baba in him. All those things, very simple things in life. There's nothing
Yeah,
very complicated. Meditate on him, remember him as much as we can. That's the only thing we need to do. It's very simple actually. Yesterday I posted a small snippet from a book that I was reading, so I think it is worthwhile. You can read it
I
later.
think controlling. I think
Yeah.
controlling mind
So
is you're saying it's very simple. It's very simple. You're saying controlling mind, but I don't think it's too simple to controlling the mind
yeah,
because the
yeah,
mind
yeah.
is
It's
always.
it's your own determination actually. It's not anything is simple and complicated both. So, the actions are very simple, but they're very difficult to do. Love others as you love our own dear ones. So it's very simple sentence to say, but can we? So, how do you do
Mm.
it? Baba has given, have my constant remembrance and feel my presence all around you. And love me, love me, love me, love me. So, when we love somebody, his presence is all around us. We keep thinking about him, and you think of me so
Mm.
much that your mind ceases to think anything other than me. That's what is Baba's expectation.
So,
So,
Ashish, your
Jai
question I
Baba.
think is about Jai Baba. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sanjay ji.
yeah,
Very
Jai Baba.
profound. Ashish, I think your question is about mind and sanskaras and how to control the mind and
Yeah,
how to control creation of sanskaras, right?
yeah. In
So,
our day-to-day life,
Yes,
right? In our day-to-day.
Jai
yes,
Baba,
yes.
day to
if I
day,
can
So
add,
yeah,
just to add, once you have surrendered yourself 100% by his constant remembrance and obedience, whatever you do is being done by Baba. Is
yes.
in that sense. Ultimately, it's not something that you do tomorrow, but in a long term, when you are completely surrendered to him, what actions even you are taking becomes his responsibility. Once you surrender yourself to me, you become my responsibility. That's what also as Baba has said. So there is a lot of solace and hand holding Baba is doing with us, but it's our own drive that needs to, is important. Yeah. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. So the answer lies in love, of course, and meditation. So there are various chapters on meditation in discourses which we have read earlier, and and as everybody has said, and Sanjay and others, that constant uh, namasmaran, or we keep remembering him every moment. Uh, when we breathe in, we say Ba. When we breathe out, we say Ba. So Baba, we internalize remembering him every moment in our through our breath. So breath, meditation, and love can probably help us in the on the path. So each one is own. The type of meditation or type of uh, you know, kriya he does is on everyone. But these are some of the paths which can help us in reaching our goals. Jai Baba.
Yeah, but correct. They are not different independent paths actually. So once you love and surrender yourselves, everything else you do is out of that drive only. Once you have surrendered yourself to Him, you love Him, then you do meditation, then you do whatever pranayama, or you do seclusion, or you do silence, you do fasting. All that you do, unless you have the first part, you don't end up doing fasting or seclusion meditation, because unless you are completely in love with Him and surrender yourselves to Him, that's what I think. It's not something three different paths. It's all one path together.
Brilliant, brilliant. Jai Baba said, brilliantly said, Sanjay. We got to have 100% or more than 100% conviction that whatever we are doing is we are doing it out of our love for Baba. Jai Baba.
If I can just add a bit to all that was said, Ashish, unwinding sanskaras, I think Discourses has quite a lot of details on how to unwind sanskaras, and sanskaras mind is the seat of, I think that's where they sit, and our journey is to unwind sanskaras. So what Baba said is to do your daily life, if I remember right, and anybody can feel free to correct me, you have to stay detached. Keep doing whatever you're doing, but don't attach yourself to anything. Lust, greed, gluttony, anything, anger, don't just do it with detachment. The moment you attach yourself, your personality to it, you will create more sanskaras. And if you really cannot detach yourself, keep reminding yourself, tell yourself that your Baba is doing it, or you're doing it for Baba. That's the only way.
Yeah.
There isn't.
That's true.
So that slowly you have to reduce your sanskaras so that mind can be annihilated. And I think it's many, many, many lifetimes. That's my feeling. It's not an easy journey unless he's.
That's what I said. It's not an easy journey. Craving, right?
Yeah,
Craving for
absolutely.
Food, for the something. It's not
right.
easy to just detach yourself from.
It's not easy.
But yeah,
it's
we try. We have to try. Yeah, definitely we have to try for that one.
We have to try. Yeah. Where did I stop? I got lost. Sorry. I think this is the goal, is it? But mind has to die while in its human body, retaining full consciousness. This is the real goal. Yeah.
This is the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ashish,
at the close,
yeah.
At the close of his reply to Veni's question, looking at the gathering, Baba gestured, if you can really grasp the central point of what I have been explaining now, it will be easy to follow the rest in bracket of the discourse on Manjunash. Through the three paths, through simple words, Baba further elucidated. Yesterday, I told you that the perfect masters chalked out different paths for the annihilation of mind. Let us commence with the path of action, because the main activity of mind through body is of actions. As long as mind is their body, is their actions too are there. Actions leave impressions, and impressions feed the mind. So for the false ego to be transformed into real, there is no other remedy than Manonash. Therefore, the masters wanted actions to be done in a way so that the effect of the impressions become important, hence no result, no binding. For example, a Scorpio generally wags its tail and stings. It is natural for it to sting someone. What is the result? The person suffers. Even if Scorpio's sting is cut off, the act of waging and stinging continues. But as the thorn is removed, the person concerned does not suffer. So the masters.
So the right at the top.
Sorry, So the masters thought of the following remedy on actions. Act in a way so that the results do not bind and no impressions are created. But for this, the action has to be rendered important in the matter of its dangerous result, and this is not easy. Why? I will explain. There are three ways by which the actions done do not bind. One is to act, but absolutely without having any self interest. But this selfless action, which is referred to as selfless service, is almost impossible. Even the feeling of pity for others should not be there. The moment you think that you are serving or uplifting others, you get caught and bound. The second way is to dedicate whatever you do to God or to the perfect master. This dedication must be constant and continual without a moment's
Moments.
break. If you are able to do this, then actions have no impressions created. But this is very difficult. The third way is to act on the orders of the one whose one whose mind. Manonash meeting at Hyderabad. Mind is annihilated and so is free from impressions. If you do whatever he tells you to do, you are not bound. This is not simple, for you must have 100% unflinching faith in the perfect master. The second path is of meditation. Some masters put
I
forth
think,
the way of
Yeah, just a moment, Ashish. Mamaji wants saying something.
this first part says that we have to learn on our own with the guidance of the perfect master. But even in that phase, we may fail. So the best way is to follow his orders. That's why Baba keeps telling, what I say you do, what I dictate you do. So then he says all the results of the action is taken up by Baba. But we have to surrender and do according to his instructions. This is because we always feel uh, why we need to do in a particular way as told. Why not we try to modify or say sometimes we even think of say improving on that. So those are the impression creating sanskaras. So you just blindly follow what is told by the perfect master, or in our case, the avatar Meher Baba, and follow his dictates without any, say, thought added to that. Then we will be getting out of these samskaras to a large extent, I think. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you.
See,
Thanks, Mamaji.
Jai Baba, I think those three ways. In the second way, it says you have to orders of the one, and one is in capital. That refers definitely to Baba. So you have to
Yes, yes.
follow the orders of Meher Baba,
Yeah, that's the third way. Yeah.
a third or whatever. So one there refers to Meher Baba. Thanks for highlighting this. Yes, Jai Baba.
Thank you. Jai Baba. Ashish, go ahead, please. Yeah.
yeah. The second path of meditation. Some masters put forth the way of defeating the mind through mind itself through meditation. I think meditation has some reference to the down and concentration. Yeah. During the
Can we?
during this meeting, Baba did not explain further regarding the path of meditation, but as this subject is of great interest to some seekers of God, I quote below some excerpts from a discourse which Meher Baba gave in the latter years. There are various retreats in India where meditation classes are held and different but set techniques of meditation are observed, which if followed faithfully and for a long time, result in slight occult experiences such as seeing flashes of light, colors, even visions, etc. These occult experiences by themselves are nothing, are in the domain of illusion, and not only have no direct bearing on the incomparable reality of God realization, but can actually become a hindrance and obstruction to the aspirant's path to God.
This is important, and a lot of times in this group, there is a lot of emphasis to meditation. So we have to be careful with meditation also. So I would like to re-emphasize that. So, just now, Ashokji said about meditation. I think Baba's direction is not towards meditation. Although he did give discourses, he used to meditate, but in his teachings, love and surrender are prime, not
Yes.
meditation. This is my understanding.
Jay Baba, I only meant it as one path, not the only path.
What I'm saying is, Ashokji, and pardon me for pushing it again. Baba has, although he did give discourses on meditation, he used to meditate in early days, but towards the end and later part of his discourses, he always emphasized love and surrender as the prime path, not meditation. He also said, like you read here, meditation has its own hindrance. It can become a hindrance and obstruction to the aspirant's path to God unless you are guided by a perfect master to meditate. We don't have a perfect master to meditate.
Yes, yes. The right guidance and techniques are important because some of
Yes.
the meditations may lead you to having this occult experiences or
Yes.
false these things. So
Right.
we have to be careful.
So
And
self
as Baba
self
lovers, if you want to sit in his remembrance, you should not use word maintenance. Just look at his picture and feel his presence. I think if you do that, that's enough for us. That's my take.
correct. Yeah, I also feel so. But for beginning, a little bit of concentration, that is okay, but not going too far into
Yeah, yeah, yes,
seeking
yes.
occult experiences or all these things which Baba is explaining here,
Yeah,
flashes
yeah.
of light,
It
colors,
goes
visions.
all day way levitation and all that it goes finally. So there are
Yeah,
too many
Correct.
things involved.
Jay
Mm,
Baba, we true that we don't want to get into our occult experiences. Yeah. That can
right.
be
Yeah.
that can be dangerous. Yes.
Yes, Jai Baba.
Jay
Okay,
Baba.
Ashok ji.
Uh,
Sorry, Ashish. Ashish,
yeah,
please.
the direct path to God is the path of love. Love is not derived from meditation. It has nothing to do with it. Love is as a grace of God. One in many has it, and it is all sufficient. Love does not depend on anything but itself. Love without meditation is enough. Meditation without love is not. That is why Sadgurus or perfect masters do not set meditation for their disciples as a necessary routine. Rather, they stress the aspect of love and selfless service. The masters of the path, on the other hand, not having reached the goal themselves, advocate meditation to the aspirants following them. In the Premashram, the boys were touched with the spark of love. Then, when the phase of intensive meditation followed, with the resultant flashes of occult experience, the love aspect began gradually to decline. The Awakener, Volume 3, Number 4, page number 31. I think we need to go back again on that second reference.
Sorry.
Yeah. So meditation. I will start again from the second path. The second path is of meditation. Some masters put forth the way of defeating the mind through mind itself, through meditation and concentration. When mind is concentrated, its further function is weak and the sanskaras exhaust themselves. Thus, the sanskaras which are like in bracket earth. So the sanskaras which are like worms, like it's like earthworms, and which must have execution, eat themselves. But during this process, the mind feels frustrated and gets more desperate. Unwanted thoughts that you never had assail you, and eventually one of the three things happen. One, you get fed up and you can do.
You can no more concentrate.
More concentrate. Second, you get sleepy or drowsy. Third, you continue to get more and more bad thoughts. For the very few who persist patiently with a brave heart, the result is that the mind is temporarily stopped. Then one experiences ecstasy in bracket bhav, but it becomes like a dope to which one gets addicted, or one goes into samadhi in bracket trance. But this is not manonash. Thus, through concentration, annihilation of mind is not possible.
This is
The
very
third part,
important. Sorry,
yeah,
just a moment.
yeah, yeah.
I read this with uh, a lot of interest. So Ashokji, this is for us when we think about meditation. So we can stop the mind temporarily with meditation, and you can experience bhakti and bhav during meditation. But this is not manonash. Thus, concentration, annihilation of mind. Thus, through concentration, annihilation of mind is not possible. So you get temporary relief by meditation, but it's not annihilation of mind. It's not moving towards annihilation of mind. Jai Baba.
Agreed, agreed. Jai Baba.
And also, it may create some sort of a craving to get that ecstasy or bow.
Exactly,
And you
exactly.
get attached to that. That binding may still persist there, I think.
Yes, because you want relief from the worldly noise. You start meditating. Meditation creates ecstasy or bhav, and bhakti also to a large extent. It does, but that's not real progress. Although it also is some kind of progress, I believe. But then Baba says further in some of the discourses, if you continue on that path of meditation and addiction, if you don't have a perfect master with it, then you see those flashes of light and occult experiences, and then you may get lost. So it's dangerous, he said. It's not bad, but it's dangerous. So better to go back to the original path which he has prescribed. Jai Baba.
Mm-hmm.
Sanjay ji, you want to say something?
Yeah. I think there's also a chance of you not doing your duty as you're supposed to perform. So that's also
Correct. Yeah.
because you get your mind is too focused on these happiness that you probably, if you want to call that word, that you
Yes.
experience in doing meditation, but it should not digress you from your worldly responsibilities that Baba is also equally emphasized for us to do. Yeah, Jai Baba.
Basically, you've got to burn your sanskaras. That's why he's given you this
Yes, yes. Yeah.
chance.
So love is the one which is Baba has
Yes.
always emphasized, that love burns the
Mm,
sanskaras most, because
absolutely. Yeah.
it's also used in ghazals and that मैं जल रहा हूँ या मेरी, all that words that are used, that you have
Yes.
that pang of separation, which is also equal to burning of heart and
Right.
mind and
Heart
whatever.
and mind.
Different words are used, but that's something which Baba has always emphasized. Jai
Correct.
Baba.
Jai Baba.
Yeah. Third part of the third part is of bhakti, devotion. When one is totally devoted to God or the perfect master, he forgets himself and his mind gets no chance to form new binding sanskaras. The eternal beloved is ever present, but unless you step out of your old habits, how can you aspire to meet him? So Hafiz says,
All right.
Huzur gar hami khani, Huzur gar hami khani, az u ghayab mashaw Hafiz. In bracket, oh Hafiz, if you want the beloved presence, Do not absent yourself from him. But even through the path of devotion, complete and continual forgetfulness is practically impossible. So no Manonash. At the close of his discourse, Baba stated, the mind's part is to make ego think through body, feels false, and experience the sanskaras. But when mind sees that the false ego is not ready to accept its dictatorship, then submissive, loose, and weak impressions are formed, which eventually lead one towards the goal. Thus, either through selfless service or meditation or devotion, though not perfect, but if persisted with 100% faithfulness, a stage comes when mind is permanently at rest or becomes totally quiet and sees God everywhere, bracket, and longs for union with Him. Only the perfect one who is free can uproot, annihilate the minds of others, even of the masses.
You want to read the conclusion before we? Yeah, one more page. Yeah.
Yes. In conclusion, Baba continued, all the paths are meant for Manunash to make you feel you are God, the infinite, the eternal. We are all the same, one God, but we are misled by the Besharam, elusive mind. With the death of mind, ego feels, experiences, I am God, I have no connection with the body. If this shock, in bracket of gnosis, is too strong, the body drops down. Otherwise, the momentum, in bracket of the impressions, keeps the body going for some time and then it is shed. This is the state of perfect mazub, in bracket mazubiyat. Mazub mind is not there but real, and real I and body remain. Few after Manunash keep their bodies and get minds too, but these minds have impressionless impressions. Then real I, real mind, and real body remain. Such a one is a perfect master. When mind dies, ego realizes reality. With Manunash downs the knowledge. By knowledge, I mean the experience of I am God state, then God's knowledge is yours. God is all knowing. So, in a flash, you know everything. You know that there was, is nothing to know. When the discourse was over, Baba conveyed, I am absolutely in the new life and full of weaknesses. To achieve this extremely difficult task of Manunash, I have 4 months in hand. It is like a lame person wanting to reach the top of Everest in 4 months. But I feel 100% confident that God will help me to achieve this. On October 16, when you all fast that day, pray for 5 minutes from the bottom of your hearts, asking God to help me gain his end. We thanked God. Baba concluded the discourse and proposed that in the afternoon he would like to have some indoor games. He added, this will be a sort of relaxation for me and will
Will
help
help
me
me decide.
to decide about the persons who should be with me during the Manonash period. From this series, subjects the mind of all were the switch to playfulness and fun.
Ashish,
Different persons suggest. Hmm?
Ashish, can we stop here? It's
Yeah,
9 o'clock. I have maybe it's time for
yeah,
everybody to just take a break. We can just stop at this page and
yeah.
continue next week. Any comments from anybody before we just stop the recording?
No, no. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. And
You can just mark where we
Thank
stopped.
you.
Yes, I will.
Thank you, Sunilji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Jai Baba.
Thank you, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.